Okay, let's open the meeting. It's the Delaware County Commissioners meeting. It's Monday, March 16th, 2020. It's about 9:02 a.m. This morning, I'd like to, I think it'd be appropriate for everybody to bow their heads, say a little prayer, pray for this country, our emergency responders, our 911 people, and all of our friends and family. Let's take a moment. Thank you. Let's stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. Steve, could you call the roll, please?
Ms. Reagan.
Present.
Mr. King.
Here.
Mr. Henry.
Here.
Mr. Bruff.
Here. Okay, we have appointments for the Work One Board.
I've been serving on that board that oversees, East Central Indiana. And we haven't been naming me or you or whoever, but we need to update that.
I'll make a motion. We appoint Sherry Riggin to the one board.
I'll second it. Roll call, please.
Mr. King.
Yes.
Ms. Reagan.
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes. That was easy enough, thanks, Sherry. Table business ordinance 2020-002.
That is to be tabled till the meeting in April.
Approval of minutes, March 2nd, 2020 meeting.
So moved. Second.
A motion and a second for the approval of minutes. Roll call, please.
Ms. Reagan.
Yes.
Mr. King.
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes. Okay, we'll go to contracts and agreements for approval. Grant for approval for Delaware County Sheriff's Department Kids Camp.
Well, Jeremy's not here. I'm Tony Skinner, Delaware County Sheriff. We're just requesting approval for a grant we've submitted to the Ball Brothers Foundation for our kids camp that we do every summer. It's a $5,000 grant that helps us pay for facility rentals, t-shirts and hats for the kids, food, just expenses to help cover the cost of putting the kids camp on. As you know, the camp is free to all campers. It always has been, and it always will be. So this just helps us offset those costs. So we're asking your approval for a grant that we want to submit.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion to approve the grant and a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. King.
Yes.
Ms. Reagan.
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have an interlocal agreement with Town of Eaton for bridge repairs.
This is an interlocal agreement that's been discussed with the commissioners and presented to the commissioners for to assist Eaton with bridge repair on Indiana Avenue over the Holdren Ditch. It's a county bridge structure. I think the materials will be purchased by Eaton and the labor will be done by the county.
Is that,
They approved it at their meeting last Tuesday.
I'll make a motion to approve.
second.
Okay, so that's actually, we're going to approve a resolution 2020-006. Resolution approving an interlocal agreement with Town of Eaton regarding to the bridge repair service.
Correct.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Ms. Reagan.
Yes.
Mr. King.
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes. Okay, we have a proposal agreement with Red Elephant for deed sale notices.
I believe this is a, excuse me, an agreement with a vendor to assist with the notice that is sent out to the or the owners of, or at least people have an interest in property on the deed sale that's coming up in, was it June, is it, Steve? I think it's sometime in June.
Steve, is there enough time that we could table this? There was some question about an advance payment That was good. I move that we table this.
Okay, we have a motion to table this red elephant agreement.
Second.
A motion and a second to table that agreement. Roll call, please.
Mr. King,
Yes.
Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes. And I skipped over. Grant request for state opioid response.
Good morning, Jane Miranda from Community Corrections. I'm seeking permission to submit the state opioid response grant again this year. It is an online submission, which is why there is not a copy. We did receive the funds at the beginning of this year for 2020, and I am asking permission to write it again for 2021.
So move.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the grant request. Roll call, please.
Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
Mr. King,
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, I skipped you. BIS, Emily Anderson.
Good morning, Emily Anderson, Court Administrator. You should have gotten a copy for a contract. You already signed a contract previous for Title 40 Court when the whole team that does the recording equipment in the courts went and visited the new facility. They realized that 40 needs to have the full upgrade, not the upgrade that they were given from 4-channel to 6-channel, which matches the other courts because of video court. And 40 court does all of the pre-initial hearings, which is going to be done through video. So this is the upgrade that we're going to do, which has already been approved by Rick and Eric for the incentive fund. So this is coming out of 40 incentive.
Motion to approve since it's coming out of their
Account.
fees.
Second.
A motion to approve and a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. King,
Yes.
Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, ordinance for first reading, ordinance number 2020-003, an ordinance concerning public records request on form to submit public records request.
This is an ordinance that I've drafted to make uniform the public record requests that come into the county all the time. They come in different ways, different forms, different requests, and this is sort of a way to standardize them so that we make sure that we stay on top of them, have a form that is required so that we know exactly what's being requested, and then the county can respond to it. My office can help and assist with the response on these public records requests that seem to be picking up. So I would ask, at least for your introduction of this, this tracks the statute on what is declared to be confidential, what's not confidential. And I also patterned it after the public records request and the form with the prosecutor's office, which has already been vetted by the Public Access Council.
I'll make a motion to introduce.
Second.
A motion to introduce and a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. King,
Yes.
Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes. Okay, for resolutions for approval, we've already did the Town of Eaton's regarding the bridge repair service. We have another resolution, it's number 2020-007, resolution concerning mitigation efforts of the county with respect to COVID-19 virus. I just want to say a couple of things. I've been working very hard with all the elected officials really, and especially Jason Rogers and Jamie Bain at the Health Department. And this it's rapidly evolving. Everyone's seeing it. And you know, we're trying to make the right decisions. That was Jamie Bain calling me, by the way. We're trying to make the right decisions and do everything we can to try to protect not only the public, but we also have to protect government and try to keep government up and running and protect our people. You know, 911 is a big concern, and our EMS officials, our law enforcement officers. So we're trying to do everything we can to protect everyone. So John, I'd like for you to read a resolution, please.
Resolution concerning mitigation efforts of the county with respect to the COVID-19 virus. Whereas COVID-19 is a novel virus with pandemic potential for citizens of Delaware County, Indiana, and whereas it is incumbent upon the entire community to create and actively participate in many different types of mitigation strategies to slow the spread of respiratory virus infections. And whereas the Delaware County Board of Commissioners believe that as the executive of the county, it is their responsibility, along with its employees and members of the general public, to implement procedures and requirements now to mitigate the effects of the COVID-19 virus and its spread among the public. And whereas the Board of Commissioners will constantly monitor and strengthen mitigation policies to address the effects of COVID-19 among the Delaware County community. And whereas the Board of Commissioners believe that it's in the best interest of the entire county to implement mitigation strategies now with respect to county offices, buildings, and operations. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Commissioners of Delaware County, Indiana, that the following mitigation policies shall be in place immediately. County employees in matter. All work-related travel to any conference, meeting, workshop, or other work-related activity to any location outside of the state shall be prohibited unless deemed to be an emergency or law enforcement activity. All county employees that have traveled outside the United States or have been in contact with any person that has traveled outside the United States shall not be allowed to return to work until they have been in quarantine for no less than 14 days from the date of return to their home unless they were placed in quarantine by the U.S. government. Any county employee that develops symptoms or tests positive for COVID-19 shall be quarantined at home for no less than 14 days and shall not be permitted to return to work until such time as they are symptom-free. Any county employee that displays symptoms of illness, the flu, or any other sickness or test positive for COVID-19 shall utilize their personal time off, sick days, and then vacation days in order to be compensated for the time off. In the event that an employee that exhausts all of their paid time off shall be required to remain away from work, shall take said time as unpaid leave. All county employees shall practice personal protective measures such as stay at home when sick, frequent and substantive hand washing throughout the day, respiratory etiquette, maintain proper distances when interacting with each other and members of the general public, limit gatherings in the workplace, decreasing social activity in the workplace, and any other suggested mitigation practice suggested by the Center for Disease Control, State Department of Health, or Delaware County Health Department. All county employees shall utilize hand hygiene supplies in the building frequently. Any county employee that's currently displaying or will display symptoms of illness, the flu, or any other sickness shall notify their supervisor and not report to work until such time as their symptoms are gone and they have been without a fever for more than 24 hours. Each county officer, elected official, supervisor shall monitor the symptoms of all of their employees on a daily basis, and any county employee that's currently displaying or will display symptoms of illness, the flu, or any other sickness shall be sent home and told not to report to work until such time as their symptoms are gone and they have been without a fever for more than 24 hours. All public meetings in the county shall be suspended until at least April 27, 2020. All public gatherings of more than 50 people shall be canceled. Any public meeting that shall be conducted telephonically or electronically, if possible, and if possible, be streamed via live video. Any meetings that is deemed to be an emergency by the Board of Commissioners may be conducted only for the purpose of dealing with the emergency matters only. The Board of Commissioners may implement stricter requirements in the future, such as reducing work schedules, work at home rules, closing county facilities, and non-emergency operations and other actions necessary to protect the employees and the general public from the spread of COVID-19. General public. Any member of the general public that has traveled outside the United States or been in contact with any person that has traveled outside the United States shall not be allowed to enter into any county-owned or operated building until they have been in quarantine for no less than 14 days for the date of their return to their home unless they were placed in quarantine by the U.S. government. There shall be a distance of no less, no less than 6 feet between each other, any employee of the county while transacting business in the county, owned and leased facilities at all times. All members of the general public shall enter the county building or justice center via the main door only and subject themselves to a screening by the security officers. Any member of the public that is currently displaying or will display symptoms of illness, the flu, or any other sickness during their use of the county-owned, rented, or operated building shall not be permitted to enter or remain in any county-owned or operated buildings or structure. The county health department shall provide training and information to Delaware County Sheriff's Department as to mitigation techniques and screening of people that display symptoms of illness, the flu, or any other sickness. Enforcement. The county sheriff shall have the authority to police and enforce these requirements and may remove any member of the general public, county employee, or elected official that displays symptoms of illness, the flu, or other sickness. The county may also enforce this resolution by injunction if necessary.
Make a motion we approve resolution number 2020-007.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion to approve the resolution and a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. King,
Yes.
Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes.
Thank you, John. I know you've been working very hard on this.
Yes, and thank you, John.
It's a changing environment, and every day if something else comes up.
Absolutely.
Did we miss an ordinance that, 2020-004?
Or 6, I thought.
You have a revised agenda somewhere around there, Steve. That one was
Okay.
put on the next meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Department heads or elected officials, yeah, Ed, once you come up, I'd like for Ed just to, we want to try to reduce the amount of public in the building the best we can at this point. So Ed, I guess what I'd like from you is to explain how people can pay their taxes.
Good morning. The good news is we're gonna have our tax statements out early. They'll probably be actually being sent out this week. But what we do is encourage the public to actually pay online. There's 3 different methods, which is online, pay at local banks. Most of the banks here in Delaware County will accept your tax payments. And the third method would be paid through mail. So when you get your statements, you can send those payments in the mail. And if you need a receipt, you can get those to you and probably return those back to you. So those are the 3 methods we'd recommend and strongly urge the public to do that. It not only help protect the girls in our office, but also the taxpayers when they come in. So the less traffic we have, the better off I think we are.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Rick, real quick, could you come up? We talk about voting.
Yes, sir. At this point, by the way, Rich Spangler, Delaware County Clerk. At this point, we are going to advise that every high-risk voter, the people in the 65-year-old age group, request an absentee ballot. They're easy to get, state's website, you can get them through our website, or you can call our office, we'll make sure you get it. 65-year-old voters are allowed an absentee ballot without any question. At this point, the state and the political parties are working to expand the availability of absentee ballots. So like everything else, this is gonna be very fluid. It's gonna be moving forward, really quick and we'll be looking for different ways to do different things. Our average poll worker's age is 72 years old. So we're gonna be having trouble getting people to work polls. We're gonna have, some other concerns that we'll be addressing as we go forward. And I can just assure the public that we're doing everything in our power to make sure we have a safe and secure election.
Very well. Thank you, sir. Any other department heads or elected officials like to speak?
Marta, I got a question to ask you here.
Yes.
Marta, there's been some questions about like our paving and how we do our paving. Is the Pacer paving management, is it on your website where people can go and look at that?
It's not, but we can make arrangements for it to be placed on there. Now, one thing you have to remember is that, the initial inventory was done in 2016.
Right,
And then updates have been done to that based on paving that was done each year. We're planning on doing an update this year. And, so that, but yeah, we can
I just think
get,
we need to put the information out there for the public, because it's like we haven't had a paving plan. I'd just like the public to know that, you know, we go by this pacer management that shows our worst roads to our best roads.
right,
And that's how we've been looking at doing our paving.
yes. And, one thing I'll mention is that the inventory that we did conduct, was actually used, pavement condition index that's on a level of 0 to 100. So it gives you a lot more variation than just the pacer, which goes 0 to 10. So you can have a lot more detail, in terms of the condition of the pavement. So, yeah, we can,
And that was done back in 16, right?
uh-huh,
In 2016. So remember too that sometimes the winter may change those roads drastically.
Right.
We've seen that in the past too. So just because we didn't pave one of those roads, maybe something else blew up. So we switched around a little bit.
Right.
Obviously, then we also paved,
Yeah, because
determining how much money we
you
had.
get areas, if you sweep your leaves out into the roads, that ends up into the drains, and then the water stands,
yeah,
it freezes, then it can
that's a
tear up
big
your
impact.
roads, and also you have to understand that when the water rises, you know, from the creeks, and the drainage is supposed to go to them, when it rises, there's nowhere for the
It
water
backs
to go
up.
until it goes down. But, I
Yeah.
just wanted the public to know, because it was said that we, don't have a paving plan, or people like to say a paving plan, which I know 2016 we did a 5-year plan. And I've asked for it also to be placed on the
Sure.
website, so everybody will understand.
Yeah, and, we can do that.
Okay,
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it, thank you.
That's okay. So since I'm already up here,
Yeah.
I have another question that my staff has sort of wondered about, and that is the screening that will be done on the door, because they've watched, maybe some measures that, they find questionable, because it's like I'll give you the exact example was they were saying if they're taking our temperature with one of those little guns and then they're gonna hit my forehead with the same little gun that they've hit 20 million before me, I don't want them doing that. So this, when you were talking about the health department training the deputies to do things, I think explaining exactly what's going to be done and how it's going to be done will help the employees understand.
There's nothing in the resolution that requires taking temperature.
I know, but that's why I said, what is screening? It says
Screening is-
screening.
Checking on, make sure the building has a cough, runny nose,
Okay,
flu-like
The
symptoms.
list of questions.
Right.
okay,
Have you been outside the country, that sort of stuff?
right, okay. That's good to know. That's good to know.
Potentially that could happen.
Right.
But temperatures could be taken,
Uh-huh,
but it would be a non-touch instrument.
okay. Really?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, I'm just telling you some of the concerns
Absolutely.
that.
It'll be the least invasive procedure that we would have available at this
Okay.
point.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Morning, Emily Anderson, Court Administrator. The judges asked that I request the cleaning of the courts with some kind of sanitary solution. I know you told us at the last meeting we had with, Department of Health that we need to take care of our own space, which we are okay with. But the public space in the courtroom is something that we have a concern with. They don't usually clean the rails or the chairs or the doors or anything like that, and that's a public area. So we didn't know how that's gonna be addressed.
Charlie, you and I have discussed some of that. Could you take care of that? Okay.
And we are reducing, you saw the order that came through, we're reducing the public in our space as well, but we still have to hold court, so we're still gonna have people in there.
I thought your civil and criminal
Well,
cases were all suspended.
Well, not suspended. We still have to have hearings. We're trying to do as much as by phone as we can, but there are hearings we have to have with people in person that are required by statute. We're suspending all trials because we don't want to have trials, but we have to have certain hearings.
Okay.
Okay? Thank you.
Charlie, you'll take care of that.
Tony Skinner, Delaware County Sheriff. A little bit about what Marta was talking about. I'll get with Jamie as soon as the meeting's over and try to schedule for some of his employees to come over and educate our door guys about what to look for and the signs and symptoms. But also, it's my understanding the county employees will still come and go as they have. They won't go through the front door and have to go through the screening. So this will be for the
Correct.
general.
Okay.
This is for the general public at this point.
Okay,
So
so I
I'll,
misunderstood that.
I'll get on that as quickly as I can and hopefully get that implemented like maybe by tomorrow. All right?
Yeah, as of 9:25, the public employees just, or the employees just do what they want, like they always have. The public will be screened.
Thank you.
We're trying to leave it to the supervisors, the elected officials, and the people that run their office to watch their employees. Any other department heads or elected officials? Okay, payment of claim is one. Oh, Jim, come on in.
Morning, Jim Flip from IT. I wanted to let the commissioners know I got a call from the courts last week about the availability of people who have to work from home. And we've established a program which we already use, and that we will implement that as needed for anybody that needs to work from home and can work from home, still do their job. All we have to do is have, with your approval, I would say any reason that would be on a temporary basis that they would have this, and then they would, go off with that, what we call a VPN session, and it's a secure session. And so I want to let you know that that's available and that we're working with the departments that need it.
In the event we have employees that become ill, that would be a good option if they're available to work from home. Okay, thank you. Okay, anyone else? Payment of claims, $1,017,318.04.
So moved.
We have a motion to pay and a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Reagan,
Yes.
Mr. King,
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes. Jenny, we didn't have anyone who was.
Commissioner Henry, if you, for me, I was waiting to see what was said in the ordinance, if I could be permitted to speak.
Who are you with?
I'm not with anybody, I'm a public citizen. Cameron Grubbs.
You have to sign up prior
I
to.
realized that, but I was waiting for the ordinance, but that's why I was asking if I could be permitted to speak.
Which ordinance are you referring
The
to?
one about the resolution concerning the mitigating, I wanted to see what was being said first before commenting.
I don't. You guys want to hear? What do you say? I mean, you didn't sign up. That's kind of the rules we're following.
You did adopt the,
We adopt a ordinance on meeting guidelines.
Right.
And you have to sign up before you
I
speak.
understand, I just kind of felt like it was crucial to, especially if things are not meeting, if something needed said. So.
Okay,
But if you won't allow it, I understand.
motion to recess.
So moved.
Sorry.
We have a motion to recess and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. We're recessed.